episode of the Cubs Line podcast. As the Cubs had a huge 6-1 win today in Detroit. It was a home run derby, great game. I'm Ryan Dunleavy, and I'm joined with Ryan Zielinski and special guest Jack Dobbins from Playoff Push podcast. Jack, you want to give a little bit about yourself?
Man, of course. Hey, everyone. My name's Jack. I run the Playoff Push podcast right outside of Philadelphia. I've been doing this show for about 10 months now, gotten some amazing guests on, and I always, love hopping on other shows. Mine's fun, but after a while, you're like, I really need to talk to some new people where I'm not initiating the conversation. But I'm so happy to be, the first guest, I believe, on this show. An absolute honor. I mean, I love every second of it.
Yeah,
Thank you,
so
thank you.
we'll get into our card portion, as you guys
All
know,
right.
sponsored by Mark's Card Shop in Downers Grove. Make sure to go check them out. They're sponsoring the show today. Thank you very much at Mark's Card Shop. So, Jack, turn around for our first card.
Do you guys use camera for these shows? I should have asked that before.
Yes, we do.
Okay, I need to set the record straight. I am a Yankees fan. I am just wearing Cubs gear because it's a Cubs show, and I didn't want to wear Yankees gear today. Okay, I'm turning around.
Pretty ironic here. All right, you're all good.
Okay, do I turn back around or do I guess from here?
Turn back around.
Okay.
God,
All right, I'm ready.
kind of ironic. He's a Yankees shortstop.
Okay. I feel like Volpe's too simple. I'm gonna go with Volpe anyway.
Yep. Anthony.
Okay. All right. Let's go with that.
They're all current. They're all current guys. So we got our next card now.
Okay.
Turn around again.
Yeah.
You know the drill. All right, all good. He's the shortstop on Cincinnati Reds.
My head immediately went to Zach Kozar, even though he hasn't been there for like 10 years.
It's
Ellie. It's Ellie.
Yep, Ellie De La Cruz.
Why did my head go to Zach Kozar?
Jack Kozar, what a pull.
All right, and then last card here.
Okay. Third time's the charm, baby.
All right, all good. This guy is the starting third baseman on the Phillies.
Boom.
Yep, Alec Bohm. So three relatively
probably
easy
shouldn't be starting third baseman, but he is for now.
Yep.
Aiden Miller will be up soon enough.
Yeah.
So we'll get into this recap from today's game. The Cubs win 6-1 versus the Tigers today. Home run derby at Comerica Park. This moves the Cubs to 40 wins on the year, which is a big accomplishment for them to start off the year this hot. They're 40-24, 4 games up in the division, and big game from them today. So we'll get right into the recap. First inning, Seiya Suzuki continues to destroy left-handed pitching as he hits a bomb. It went right out if you guys were watching this. And yeah, so what do you guys got on Suzuki? He keeps killing left-handed pitching.
I mean, he's been on a heater all year. Coming into the year, I knew he was going to be a dominant force in the offense. Of course, this Cubs offense has surpassed any expectation I had with, PCA and all the other guys. But Suzuki's, I believe up to 16 homers at this point, OPS hovering around the 900 mark. So he's putting together a great year, maybe even the best of his career so far. But I really do enjoy the fact that he's really leaning into the power side. Because, earlier in his career in the previous few years, I believe he made his debut in, I want to say 2022.
That'd be correct.
He was hovering around like 20 homers a year. He's already at 16, and we're just in the first week of June. So he's really leaning into the power that we all knew when he came over from Tokyo. But, I mean, I just love to see the route he's going, and he's bringing so much to this Cubs team. They would not be at 40 wins or anywhere close to it without him.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is hopefully, knock on wood here, but Suzuki's first year without an injury. He's kind of battled injuries, and he was in a
Ryan, why
really
would you
bad
say
slump
that? We're
2
in the
years
middle.
ago.
We're in early June, man. Why would you say that?
Why would you say
Knock
that?
down wood there. Knock down wood there, but
My desk is wood. Let's go with that.
Yep. And then until like the top of the fifth, it was kind of a pitcher's duel. It was an opener for the Tigers as Montero came in later in the game. He's been struggling in his last couple starts, so they're kind of doing what they did for Colin Ray and Ben Brown for the Cubs. Gave him an opener. He looked pretty good except the long balls today. Top of the fifth, first pitch, Nico Horner beats out an infield single, just kind of like a Nico special. That's what he does great, his speed and his contact. And then after that, Michael Busch hits a absolute no doubt home run, 415 feet, 110 off the bat. Michael Busch has been so good for the Cubs. Ryan, what is your thoughts been on Michael Busch in this recent stretch?
I mean, I've been kind of tweeting about it, right? Like he's such a help in the middle of the order. Last year he was such a power guy. And he's really starting to find his groove. He hit one over the weekend. I mean, this one was a bomb. I just love what he's done. I'm so glad he's on the team right now, and they didn't, trade him after Bellinger re-signed. But yeah, he's been on a tear lately. Every time he comes up to the plate, I've got a lot of hope. If he can get on base or if he can make something happen. So yeah, I'm very glad with his play so far.
Yeah, Jack, not as a Cubs fan, just kind of like a neutral outside observer. What do you think of Michael Bush? I'm a big Michael Bush guy.
Yeah, I really do enjoy watching him play. I mean, Bush was, of course, with the Dodgers early on in his career, really struggled in 2023 before they moved him over to Chicago, over to the Windy City. But he really has been performing last year, putting up 2.8 BWAR. This year, already up to 1.9, hitting 500 so far in the month of June. So, before Bush, the third base spot was kind of in a little weird area between Bryant and Bush. But now that you have Michael Bush, he's put together two pretty solid years so far back to back. It's looking like he's the future over there at the hot corner. And again, just like Suzuki, he's sitting right around the 900 OPS mark all year. And you could say that about, PCA and all the other guys too. It's honestly ridiculous level of consistency the Cubs offense has. And I think Bush right in the middle is just what you guys need to keep it going.
Yeah, I agree with that. Not to mention that Michael Bush is a Gold Glove fielder too, and I see him winning a Gold Glove in his near future as well. And then bottom of the fifth inning, Zach McKinstry hits a ball into the corner and ends up getting a triple. And then Jake Rogers hits. It was kind of a hard ball to Matt Shaw, and he makes an unreal play, but he was safe at home. But I thought it was a great play by Matt Shaw. Ryan, what have been your thoughts on Matt Shaw's defense at the hot corner for the Cubs?
I mean, ever since he came back up after being sent down, he's just been like flashes of Chris Bryant, right? I mean, he's just diving all over the diamond, making plays. He's starting to hit the ball really well. I really like what he's done on both sides. But yeah, like you said, there wasn't really a clear throw to first. He wouldn't have got the guy at first, so I like making an effort to go home there. Almost made the play, but nothing you really could do. I wasn't really too upset about it.
Yeah, it was
I
a
just
good play
realized
for
something.
sure.
That is totally my fault because I totally forgot that you guys put Bush at first because he was at third. He was at third with the Dodgers,
That's
and he
right.
was playing first with you guys, and I totally forgot. And I was like, "Wait a minute, that doesn't sound right."
You're good.
All good, all good. All right, and then top of the seventh, Pete Crow Armstrong continues with his unreal year, 17th homer on the year. He's been so good. I mean, if he keeps playing at this race, I really think he can be the MVP. He's a
He's up
stud,
there,
honestly.
totally
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
there.
Another thing
Yeah.
I want to note too is if there wasn't Otani, Shorbert, and there wasn't so many good DHs in the NL, I think Seiya Suzuki's an all-star. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he gets some luck and gets in, but I don't know how you're gonna surpass Otani, Shorbert, and some of those other DHs.
It's tricky. It's a really, really hard spot to be in right there.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. If he maybe stayed in the outfield, he probably would have had a better chance
Yeah.
to make it. And then in the end of that inning, 2 outs, Matt Shaw hits a home run. That was his first home run since getting called up from AAA Iowa, which is a big confidence booster for him as he kind of started off rough, but then he really kind of leaned into being a contact hitter, and he's been hitting for average and playing some great defense. So, what are your guys' thoughts on Matt Shaw? Because I personally have loved the style of play that he's kind of adapting.
For me, I'm still getting used to him even existing. I was not too informed on his journey through the minor leagues. I see him get called up and there's all this fuss, and I'm like, wait a minute, what am I missing right now? So I'm in this boat of non-Cubs fans trying to figure out who on earth this kid is and what he does. Like that's what every other guy on the Cubs. I'm like, oh yeah, PCI does that, Suzuki does that, Bush does that, Carson Kelly somehow playing baseball like
Gosh,
Jesus. But but Shaw was the one guy who gets called up, and I'm like, I have never seen this guy in my life. So I'm still
yeah.
still working on that.
I will say that yeah, like you said, if you're not a Cubs fan, you really don't know much about Matt Shaw. Like me, Ryan, me and you, we were kind of talking last year about him potentially coming up this year, and like I've loved what I've seen so far because I did not expect a Chris Bryant 2015 season. Like he's surpassing my expectations. Right, we needed a third baseman. He's stepped up. He's playing that role perfectly. We said it. He's playing great defense. He's really starting to hit the ball now. But yeah, I've been really happy with Matt Shaw so far, and I really hope he can continue this through the All Star break and then up until October.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed having him, and the kind of play that he's been playing, like kind of like a Nico Horner, hits for average, plays great defense, hustles, play with speed, steals bases. I kind of love that style play from anyone, and especially Matt Shaw. And then in top of the eighth inning, Seiya Suzuki hits another home run. He continues just mashing. That's his 16th home run on the year. He's just unreal year, and I
Just
can't wait to
straight
see.
taters all the way through.
Yeah,
Boom, boom, boom.
Every game.
yeah. Did you see on Friday too when he got robbed? Two runners on,
Oh
would have been a
yeah,
three-run
at the
homer.
wall, right?
Yeah, Kerry
Center field.
Carpenter robbed him.
What was it?
Yeah, it was Kerry
Oh
Carpenter.
shoot. I'm
It would
thinking
have.
of a different one then. Am I thinking of Reds Brewers?
Yeah, that
Oh
was the
yeah.
Friedel rob.
Yep.
That's what I'm thinking of. Okay, I didn't realize he got robbed in another game too.
Yeah. It would have gave. It was last night. It would have gave us the lead in the top of the
Oh,
eighth.
I didn't see that. That's brutal.
Yeah,
It
they took
was.
Scooble
Yeah.
out. Then they
Yeah.
put a new guy in for Suzuki. I think it was a
Scooble's
righty guy.
unfair. Can we just talk about him for a second? He's
Yeah,
unfair. He is not a real person. Like coming
no.
up through the minor leagues, I was like, oh, this kid's gonna be good. I was always like, he's gonna be better than Mize, logically so. But
Yeah.
I never expected him to be this good. This dude, what is he at? Like 95 strikeouts to 7 walks or
Yeah,
something. The
It's
dude's
unreal.
not
Yeah.
real.
Yeah. Like
he's
last year, like when they made their miracle run to the playoffs in that last few weeks, like every game he was on the bump, it was like all right, like they got a real chance to win tonight. But like eh, he's just on a whole nother level this year. Like
It's
it's
insane.
unfathomable.
yeah, he should. I think he'll be the AL starter in the All Star game. Him or Hunter Brown, one of the two guys who are having unreal seasons. But
It should be
He's
Scooble.
it should be
Most
Scooble for
definitely.
sure.
Mhm.
He's insane.
Shout out Freed though. Shout out my boy.
I was we
Max
did a
Fried, yep,
show. We did a show earlier in the
Max
week
Fried
about our
too.
predictions, and I had Max Fried starting for the AL. Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, well, I made preseason predictions and they suck and I do not like them. I have never made a good preseason prediction list. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember that it was awful. But
yeah.
yeah,
Would you
I
have had
have
Ben Rice starting at DH,
I have it
like
right here.
as a Yankees guy too?
Um I had by the way, my World Series matchup was Red Sox Dodgers. So I think one of those sides is not looking pretty good anymore.
Nope, not at
I
all.
also had Logan Gilbert starting for the American League. Um
Oh
But I mean, and that wasn't a horrendous take before the year, but
no,
he did get
yeah,
Not
hurt
at
and
all.
all that. It's just like, ugh.
He was a guy
But
in the
it is what it
offseason
is.
I wanted the Cubs to target personally. I wanted them to go get one of Seattle starters and give
Yeah,
Nico.
that
I'm glad it didn't
rotation
happen.
should not be allowed. Seattle should be like put on trial for
Yeah,
for what they've done
yeah.
to MLB.
I know.
yeah. The rotation's unreal.
Brian Woo's like their 4, and he's half the teams in the
It's
league first starter.
it's
Yeah,
unreal.
yeah. And then one thing I wanted to talk about too. Bottom of the ninth inning, I believe it was a strikeout by McKinstry, and then Reese McGuire backpicked to first base. Michael Bush, game's over. That was unreal. I thought.
That was yep. That perfect way to end it. Like that. That's just everything was clicking today.
Yeah, Jack, there was a stat that me and Ryan were talking about that I wanted to bring up to you. The
Okay.
Cubs are 5-0 with Reese McGuire catching for them since he's been called up, which is
Huh.
unreal to me.
Intriguing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
for
It
sure.
kind of made me think a little bit because I was like, well, I don't want him to be the everyday catcher. But if we're undefeated with him starting, why not throw him
I
behind
mean, by all means, keep it
the
going.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing I did want to bring up though, Jamison Tyon, he has been on quite the roll
Oh,
as of late.
Yankees legend.
J-Mo.
Yeah. Jamison Tyon. I mean, he had a great start versus the Reds, no runs, and then another great start versus arguably one of the best teams in baseball for sure. So Ryan and Jack, this go for both you guys, but what have you guys seen out of Jameson Tyon in this kind of stretch in these last couple of starts?
I mean, so today, what really jumped out to me is I think it was in in the bottom of the 7th inning, his pitch count was at like 77, and I was like, I mean, he's dealing today. Like that's kind of what's jumped out is like his pitch count has been very low through like late innings. And his command is just on point. Like I think he's won what 3 starts in a row.
Yeah, 3 starts in a row that he's won.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's
All
just been
quality starts too.
yeah.
I think it was 4. Didn't he
Oh,
Yeah, it
is
win?
might
it?
be 4.
Didn't he win
Yeah.
Miami after
Oh
before the
yeah,
Colorado game?
yeah. You're
Yeah.
right. Yeah, so it is 4. Yeah, I
Yeah, he
mean
won
his
Detroit, Cincinnati, Colorado, Miami. So he's won his last 4
Yeah,
starts and
because that was the absolute massacre in Miami, right?
oh yeah, that game
Like the
was
absolute beatdown,
yeah,
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 which is every game against the Marlins.
the
Even the
Marlins,
yeah.
Rockies
yeah.
taking part in it last
The
week.
the Rockies swept him.
Swept by the
That
Marlins.
was crazy. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, yeah, his command has just been on point. That's pretty much all I got. He's been a dog lately. Filling in for Shota when he's been out. Jack, what do you got?
Well, I think he's actually been great all year. He's one of those guys where I think you can really say his ERA is ballooned from a couple bad games. I remember his first start of the
Mm,
year against Arizona sucked. He also
oh
had a
yeah,
bad one against the Mets, I think, early last month.
It was
oh
the Mets
yeah,
at
the
Citi Field.
the
But
first
yeah,
game, right? Yeah,
but other than that, he's been pitching pretty well from what I remember. I think again, 4 consecutive wins as of now. I think shut down the Phillies in late April. I think only 1 or 2 runs in that
yeah.
game. Milwaukee, Arizona again, San Diego. Like he's faced some tough competition, and his ERA down to what is it? Probably I guess like a three
It's a 3-5.
four, three
Yeah,
five.
Yeah,
Yeah,
3-5-4.
3-5-4.
Yep.
like honestly, you take away that bad Diamondbacks game and that bad Mets game, he's sitting at like a mid to high 2.
Yeah.
And like that's what you need. Like excluding, those the Diamondbacks are, a solid team, but they play in the toughest division in baseball. And the Mets are currently leading the NL East. It's like those are 2 teams that you should expect if a game's going to go wrong, it's going to be that game. But he's been pitching well every other situation. I am very impressed with what I'm seeing, especially after what I saw him do in New York. Please do not return to New York, Jameson Taillon. I beg you.
Yeah, I've been impressed with him too. And one thing I do want to notice, everyone has been talking about how good Matthew Boyd is, but everyone's sleeping on Jamison Tyron in the year that he is having. Both of those guys have really stepped up for the loss of Shoni Minaga and Justin Steele. So after that, let's get into the pitching stats. Jamison Tyon gets the W on the mound, and that moves him to 6-3 on the year. He went 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, and it was earned 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, and that moves him to a 3.54 ERA. Then in relief, Kale Thielbar pitched 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, no Ks, and he's at a 1.93 ERA. So if you're not a Cubs fan, you really wouldn't know how good of a year Caleb Thielbar is having.
I'll tell you, I'd never heard the name in my life until you
Yeah,
just
yeah,
said it 10
he's
seconds ago.
Yeah. Yeah, he was an offseason pickup from the Minnesota Twins, and he's a left-handed arm with great off speed, and he's been a very big arm as in the stretch, left-handed, and he's taken in a lot of these lefty-lefty matchups and got outs.
Makes sense why I don't know him because we own the Twins, so we don't even worry about him.
And then this next guy, you probably don't know who he is either, but he stepped up as the Cubs closer, Daniel Palencia. He pitched 1.1 innings, 1 hit, no runs,
I
no
love
walks, or 1 walk,
it.
2 Ks, and he's down to a 1.64 ERA. So Ryan, what have you seen on Palencia in this last couple of games?
I mean, like I think they were talking about it on the broadcast, like how I mean, he can top a 101. I think he can hit. Um,
102, 103
one
actually.
yeah, 102, 103. He'll like sit 100, 101. I mean, like a 1.64 ERA. He's really stepped up when Porter Hodge got hurt and Ryan Presley just has been off his game.
We don't talk about Ryan Presley.
Nope, nope,
Yeah,
not.
it's been a nightmare with but no, so yeah, with Daniel Palencia, I mean, he's really stepped up, right? I mean, I love his energy. Every strikeout, he's flexing, he's yelling. I just love the energy he's bringing to this team, and like he's been an awesome closer. Like every time he comes in, except for that Miami the ninth inning against Miami when he was one strike away and then just let it slip away. I've loved what I've seen so far, and Jack, again, I don't think you said you've never heard the name or
I
you.
mean, you're talking about this guy, hitting 101. I think he could have also been hitting 93 on the gas pump down the street. But I mean, clearly he's doing well for you guys. I'll take your word for it. I mean, he sounds like he's doing his job. That's all you need from a closer, right? You don't need a guy who's flashy, who, makes it all about himself. You need a guy who can just go in there, throw strikes, and get you out of a game. And if that's what he's doing, that's what you're making it seem like. By all means, I don't need to know who he is. He can do his job, and I'll see him in the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
Yep. In 2022, we traded for him in the Andrew Chafin trade. And yep, Brandon Poole.
There's a whole nother layer you just added to this. Andrew Chafin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, this is amazing.
I know. Yeah.
It's like Christmas.
Seriously, I know the PCA trade. I think the PCA trade and then the Chafin trade were very like close to each other. So
A day apart.
a day apart. So those are two big wins right there.
Holy cow.
Yeah, for sure. So let's get into some questions. What are your guys' thoughts on Dansby Swanson hitting in the four hole? I know I've talked about it on the
Ooh,
podcast before. I am not a fan of Dansby Swanson hitting in the four hole.
yeah.
I think he's more of a 7-8 hitter in the lineup. I don't think he should be hitting four or leadoff. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I agree with you. So I think we've kind of touched on this, but I mean he's always great 7, 8, 9. I mean I don't really think he should hit 9, but I think he should hit 6, 7, 8. And he's always great down there. He does his job. But when he has a good couple games and Council is like, oh, let me throw you in the cleanup spot, that's when he's 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts and a weak pop up, right? I don't really think like we talked about this earlier. Craig loves to like play the hot hand, right? Carson Kelly was doing well at the 8 spot, so let's throw him up at the 3 or the cleanup spot. So I think he should kind of just lay off that a little bit, keep Dansby in the bottom part of the order, let him do his thing, and we'll see where that takes him.
The thing is, when you think of Dansby Swanson, you don't think of, oh, this guy's an incredible hitter. He's going to, line him right into the gaps and hit him out of the park.
Mm.
In a full season, he's never had an OPS over 776. So he's not a guy that's going to blow you away with a bat in his hand. But what he will do is he will dominate with the glove at the shortstop spot. But of course, when you're a great fielder, not a great hitter. We've seen so many of these, Adeiny Echeverria, Andrelton Simmons, some of my favorite ball players of all time. Great
Simmons.
guys, but like you don't want them hitting cleanup when you have such a power loaded lineup like Chicago
Exactly.
does. I think the 8 spot is perfect because you're setting up for the top of the order. And can he get on base? Absolutely. Does he have some speed to him? Also, absolutely. He's stolen over 10 bags, 4 times. Like that's not as bad as it could be. But he's not a guy that you want to throw in the mix with PCA and Suzuki because he's just going to disappoint you the majority of the time. Might as well put him in the back of the lineup where if he does something, it's like, oh, that's pretty neat. Now we got the top of the lineup. That's what I think it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that because at the start of the year he was hitting 5, and then he got into a really big slump. And I believe it was the Pittsburgh series when Craig kind of mixed with the lineup, put Kelly in the 4 hole, moved Dansby to the 8 spot, and I think that series he might have had 3 or 4 home runs. He just was great at the plate, and then Craig moved him to the leadoff spot once Hap got hurt, and then he just started going down ever since then. So I think Dansby would be a perfect hitter, like you guys were saying, in the 8 spot. Our next thing is, I know Ryan, you touched on this earlier. Do you think Craig should have kept J-Mo in? I believe he was at 77 pitches in the 7th inning, 5-1
Yeah,
ball game.
he took him out. I think he took him out. So his last pitch was the last out of the 7th inning. So Craig didn't let him go out in the 8th. But I do and I don't. Like it's early June,
Yeah.
right? We don't want guys getting injured early. But like if this was a closer game, I'd say yes. But since it was it was 5-1 at the time, I think, or no, it was 6-1. Since it was a 6-1 game at the time, like I don't mind it. I mean, would it have been cool to see him go into the 9th? Yeah, but I mean, this isn't Game 7 of the World Series, right? So it's not a big deal.
I totally agree with you. I think he could have left Tyone in, except the thing is, you do risk the injury. You risk all of that. Might as well, since it's a 5-run game, take him out. Just play it safe. Don't worry about anything. Because the worst thing you can do is overstress a pitcher, because then it sets you back so much further than just go into the pen.
Yeah, I agree, especially with three big series coming up when you got the Phillies who have been on a tear as of late, and then you have two big divisional series versus the Pirates, and the first time seeing the Brewers at Wrigley Field. So those are going to be three pretty big series for the Cubs. So keep JMO healthy, take him out of the game there. That was the right call by Craig Counsell. So let's get a preview for tomorrow's game. Tomorrow's game will be 12:40 again in Detroit. To Cade Horton will get the start for the Cubs. Cade Horton's got some kind of big shoes to fill because Ben Brown has had a great start and Jameson Taillon two great starts in this series. So hopefully the Cubs can go 3 for 3 in 5 games this year. Cade Horton is 3-0 with a 3.51 ERA and 25.2 innings pitched, 19 Ks, and a 1.12 WHIP on the year. So he's had a pretty good year, I'd say, in his first 5 starts. And then on the mound for the Tigers, Jack Flaherty. Flaherty in 12 games is 4-6 with a 3.72 ERA, 65.1 innings, 76 Ks, and a 1.09 WHIP. What are your guys' predictions for tomorrow's game? Score prediction or just any predictions in general?
I just have to say, first, before we do that, I hate wins as a pitcher stat. I think they suck because there's no reason why Jack Flaherty is 4-6 with a 3.7 and Horton is 3-0 with a 3.5. I'm sorry. It makes no sense. I think it sucks. And I think DeGrom should have won the Cy Young every year he was with the Mets because the wins are stupid. I just had to say that now. But I do like the matchup for Chicago. I mean, the thing is, Flaherty has had a lot of experience against the Cubs lineup, logically, playing with the Cardinals for so many years. The Cubs are hitting exactly 200 against him all time, 50 for 250, that is, with 80 strikeouts. So you have to think about that. Flaherty knows how to get around the Cubs lineup. But you know what? Every game is a new game. You treat every previous game like they never happened. This is a different Cubs offense that he's ever seen in his time because he wasn't there when you won the World Series. No, he was not. He was called up, I believe, 2 years later in 2018. He's never experienced what a really winning Cubs team looks like. Now he's about to. He's about to get a rude awakening. He's going to get rocked. My final prediction is going to be, I say you guys score 6 again. I'll go 6-3.
Let's go. Love it. So I actually want to piggyback off the win stat, right? So Mackenzie Gore threw against us, I believe, Wednesday.
Wednesday. It was
It was
Wednesday because he
Wednesday.
pitched for Boyd.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
were doing a preview Tuesday night, and I looked Gore at the time was 2-5 with like a 3-2, and I was like, what? Like I was like, you can't even pay attention to the record
It's
because
so
like
bad.
yeah, it's crazy, and then he shut us out. And that you gotta like wins. I agree with you. I mean, yeah, a pitcher can win a game, but if you're 2-5 with a 3.2 ERA, like
Something's wrong.
yeah,
Something is
exactly,
not
yeah,
right.
yeah.
I say we take wins out of pitchers and we use like quality starts in that spot.
I like that. Yeah, yeah, I like that. But yeah, so going to my prediction, again, like you said, Jack Flaherty, a lot of experience against the Cubs, but he didn't really pitch against us in the glory days.
Bingo.
And that's kind of back, right? So I think the Cubs. I think we used the long ball a little bit again. Flaherty has a little bit of trouble that this year. I think Cade Horton has a good start. I think we get the win. I'll go 5-2.
I like that for sure. I really hope the Cubs win because I never liked Flaherty when he was on the Cardinals. He was always a
This
big
guy
crap
sucks.
talker. I didn't like him, so I'm gonna go 8-4 Cubs win. I think Horton will have a pretty good start. I don't think it's gonna be his best, but not his worst. So, but I'm really excited, and I agree with the win stat kind of comment that you had, Jack. I don't like it because there's some pitchers who are like 1-6 on like a Rockies or like a Marlins team.
with a
Paul
2H.
Skeens has a
Paul
losing
Skeens.
record. Can
Yeah.
we talk about this?
Yes, Paul
Yeah,
Skeens.
I think we actually did talk about it. He's like 2-7 with like a 2-2 or something like that. Like,
He's
Yeah.
he's 4-6, but
yeah.
he has a 205. It's like, what more do you
That's
want from the guy? Give him 2 runs of offense. It's a no decision. That's fine. It's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
bro.
We
it
did
is.
talk about that because we're going to the Cubs game on Friday and Skeens is pitching
Oh,
versus them. So we're
oh
like, yeah, Skeens is
goodness.
having an unreal year, but his record doesn't match. I think it's an
Ah,
overrated stat. Um, so yeah,
yeah.
our next topic will be how much momentum do you think whoever wins the series will get? Because the team with the NL with the best record and the team with the in the AL with the best record facing off. If you get a series dub, that's huge. So how much momentum do you think this could carry on for whoever wins this series?
Meaning the Cubs in terms of the NL and the Tigers in terms of the AL.
Yes, like how
Yeah.
much momentum do you think can carry on for whoever
I
wins?
think this series is much more important for the Cubs than it is for the Tigers because the thing with the Tigers is Skubal is gonna be there. Barring an injury, he is the best pitcher in baseball, in my opinion. I think
I
so.
agree. I totally
So
agree with that.
he's gonna be a constant. But the thing is, this Tigers lineup is very streaky. There's no guarantees, even if, say they swept this series, there's no guarantee they can keep any type of heater going because they're such an on and off team with Torkelson and Carpenter. Like they can hit you, 14 runs in a game. They can also strike out 16 times and lose. But the Cubs, I think, are a much more consistent offense. They know what they're doing. But I think this series is all about locking down the staff. Tyone showed it today, and I think Horton's going to have a chance to show it tomorrow that he can be a reliable starter down the stretch and really help the Cubs lock into that NL position. Because, of course, the AL is also easier. The Tigers only really need to worry about, like, us, and that's it.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say that's about
Maybe,
it. Yeah.
maybe Seattle and maybe Kansas City, I
Yeah.
guess. But you guys have to go through the Phillies, the Mets, the Dodgers, the Padres,
The
the
gauntlet.
Giants, the Diamondbacks, and the rest of the NL Central kind of sucks. I'm not even gonna talk about them. But but you guys have so much harder competition. These starters need to lock in, get ready for the long run because there's a lot of season left. There's 4 months and then another month of playoffs. There's a lot of time left to go. The offense can last. The pitchers need to prove that they can hang with the offense for that long.
Yeah, so for our last question is do you think whoever wins the series can make a case for the best team in baseball right now?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, logically, records, they're both easily up there. I don't exactly know, where they rank overall, but probably pretty darn high.
Yeah.
You have a better record than us. I know that much.
Yeah,
We
we do.
today
Surprisingly.
would have been win number 40, but of course, despite
Devastating.
dropping 5 runs on Garrett Crochet, still couldn't get it done. So that's how it is. But I think, yeah, whoever wins the series can easily have a case. I think right now it's 1-2. Quite frankly, the Dodgers, I do think, are the best team in baseball. I'll tell you that. They're not
I
playing
agree.
like it right now, though. So I'll put them in the 3 until they get back to the Dodgers that we know, and then I'll put them back in the 1 slot. But for now, I think absolutely.
Yeah, because the Tigers are sitting at 42-24 for with the best record in the AL, and the Cubs are tied at 40-24 with tied with the Mets for
With
the
the
best
Mets, yeah.
record in the NL. So
Okay, yeah. So right there.
yeah, for sure. So I
And
think
the Cubs have
definitely could.
definitely had a harder schedule. A
Oh yeah,
million
Yeah.
percent.
Oh
Not
yeah.
even close.
Oh
the
yeah.
this beginning of the year was brutal for
It
the
was
Cubs. You had to
torture.
face
I
it
feel
was
bad for you
that
guys. It was
stretch was
really
awful.
bad.
We
Yeah.
had to do the
Oh,
West Coast, all that. It
But
was
clearly it's
very
working.
rough.
Clearly you're fine. So
yeah.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so it's irrelevant. You're up there. You're doing fine. I think the Mets are overrated. They won't do too well. I think the Phillies take the division. But that's a
Mhm.
topic for another day.
Yep. Ryan, do you agree with Jack or do you think
Oh,
differently?
I do. And not because I'm a Cubs fan saying that, we're the best, but I just think that like you said, like logically, these are the technically the two best teams in the AL and the NL, and whoever wins comes out on top. So it's just logically there. But yeah, I think I think short and sweet, yeah. I think whoever wins this series shows that, they're capable of competing with anybody.
Yeah, I agree. So now we'll talk about a little baseball within the league. White Sox beat the Royals 4-1, take 2 games from them.
I
The
wanna
White
yeah,
Sox are becoming a
I
way
was
more
gonna say.
enjoyable team to watch. I really
Yeah.
like this young core, especially as a
Crazy.
Cubs fan. I like the young core with Mydroth, Shane Smith, Miguel Vargas. I think they can surprise some people within the next 2 to 3 years and potentially make the playoffs. What do you guys think on that?
I mean, I don't know if I'll say playoffs in 2 to 3 years, but we're not going to see another 45, 50 win season, right? Like they're going to win almost or more than 70 games. I think maybe even next year. Like they can really like again, like they've won 4 out of their last 5, I think now.
Yeah, they have.
They're
I think
playing
4 straight series in a row, maybe.
something like that. Like they're playing such good baseball right now. I don't know if Luis Robert can really stay in that lineup. He just hasn't been himself. But I mean, Tim Elko, he's been really good. Chase Mydroth has been really good. I think he can make the All Star game. Shane Smith, Sean Burke, like all like I as much as I don't like the Sox because I'm a Cubs fan, I do enjoy kind of following along with this White Sox team.
Yeah, Jack, you got anything on the White Sox?
I mean, the team still stinks. I really don't know what to
Yeah.
say. I feel bad. It's nice to see them win a game, but quite honestly, even despite the MLB having that draft lottery, they're
Yeah.
they're in a rough spot. It's not going to be fun.
Yeah.
But what I want to talk about with that game is, of course, the first series of Jack Caglione's career,
Mhm.
and
Oh, yeah.
I have to say, I have never seen a player start out a year more unlucky than this guy.
Oh
I
my
have
God.
to say it.
First AB.
I think his batting average right now is .059. His expected batting average is 254.
Oh my
This
gosh,
dude
yeah.
is 200 batting average points lower because he happens to face, Victor Scott in center field. He rips one
Oh
114
my
off the
gosh.
bat into the gap. Victor Scott just turns into like a flying man and just snags it. But he
Yeah,
is so
that
unlucky. I feel so bad.
Yeah.
He's such a good ball player, and
I
he's getting
know.
screwed by the defenses. It's so
The thing
bad.
is, like,
I
people
know.
don't realize, like,
That's
he could have
baseball.
been like an Otani. Like, he threw, I think, like 100, 101 in
He
college
threw
too.
hard. Like, yeah,
He
he
threw
was he
Yeah.
was
very
sitting
hard. Yeah.
90s.
So
Yeah, he
he
was.
he could have been like a Otani type player, and I think that bat, if it comes alive and he keeps hitting the ball as hard as he's hitting it, he's gonna be a stud for sure and a long time. Very good player for the
His hard
Royals.
hit
Yeah.
percentage is 54%, and he has like 1 or 2 hits.
Oh my gosh.
How?
I mean
How does
that's
this
baseball
work?
for you. That's oh
Yeah.
gosh.
This stupid game.
I know. The game that
Yeah,
we all love.
and we'll get into the Yankees Red Sox game. Your beloved
Can we
Yankees,
not
Jack.
do that? Can we like skip that? Can we go over yesterday's Yankees Red
That was a good
Sox
one. That
game?
was a good one for the Yankees. They
Not
killed
today's.
Walker Bueller yesterday,
Yeah,
which was
thank
great for them.
God.
Yeah.
Today was a different story, and I don't like it.
Yeah. Brewers hit a walk-off homer against the Padres and
Have they won like 13 in a row now? They're like I think
something like
they're
that.
like
They're at
12 and
35 and 30 right now. They've been on a really good streak. Like they start off the year really slow, but I still don't think that they'll really give the Cubs a very good run for their money within the NL Central, but they're playing good ball. I mean, maybe
They're
they
not a
can
team to
sneak
worry
in.
about, to me. I don't think they're a
No.
team to
Yeah.
worry about at all. The offense is there, but I don't think the staff holds up.
Yeah. Jack, who do
Yeah,
you
I agree
think
with
is
that.
the Cubs' biggest competition in the Central?
None.
None? You
I
don't
don't think
think
there is
so?
any.
I love
But
it. I love it.
if
I
I'm
like
gonna
that too. That's a good answer.
if I'm
That's a
gonna
good
say a
answer.
team, it's gonna be the Brewers. But again, I think your biggest rivals are in both the other divisions. I don't think you need to worry too much about your own.
Yeah, those are the big
Yeah.
games. Mets,
My yeah.
Dodgers,
I was gonna say
Padres.
my worry is the one seed beating the Mets and trying to stay out of the wild card series, beating the Dodgers.
And keep in mind, this is with Imanaga gone. So
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
it's not a worry in the Central to me at all. Oh, the Pittsburgh Pirates are gonna make a run. No, they're not. Stop
Yeah.
No,
talking.
not at all. Not at all. And Jack, one more question for you. Me and Ryan were talking about it the other day. What do you think is a bigger need for the Cubs at the deadline? Like a
Ooh.
lockdown reliever at the end of the bullpen or like a front of the line starter?
Ooh, man.
Made me think too.
I will say, I think the bigger need is to bolster the pen. I think that the reasoning is if Presley panned out, I would not be saying this. However, just due to the lack of him sucking, I will say that you guys should target Finnegan from the Nationals.
We were talking
I
about that.
literally
Yeah.
said that 3 days ago. I said Kyle Finnegan with the save. I think that's a
I
guy
think
that the
that's the
Cubs
move.
should have gotten in the offseason, and now they should get
Bingo.
him at the deadline.
That's what I'm saying. Target Kyle Finnegan. Be happy with that. He'll hopefully be what Presley was supposed to be. But of course, we hate the Astros, so haha. But but I think definitely the better move is because relievers are cheaper than starters as well. Keep in mind, if you try
Yeah.
to, despite Sandy Alcantara sucking this year, the Marlins, they're still going to be charging a little bit. The Nationals, you can get them for probably a bag of chips and a tater tot.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably.
I mean, go for that and bolster the pen. That way, when playoffs come, you don't need to worry at the end of the game because your offense has more than enough firepower to supply the starters, and you can shut down at the end and be perfectly fine.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then finishing off, Ryan, do you want to give our trivia question for today?
Let's go, baby.
Yeah. So I'll it's a tough one, especially for Jack. Ryan, you probably are gonna get this. If you get it, hold your answers to yourself. We'll
Okay,
we'll
I
try and
will.
see if Jack can get this.
I have pretty good baseball knowledge, so I'm praying
All right.
I
So
can
who
nail
is?
this.
It might be all right. So who is the only Cubs pitcher to throw a no hitter with 7+ walks?
Oh God.
Time
Okay.
range, maybe?
I'll give you a time range. It's from 2017 to 2022.
So it was recent. The first thing that popped in my
Thinking
head
of the
was
Cubs no hitters.
Kerry Wood 20 strikeout
I
game,
think I think I
but
got it.
not that obviously.
Yeah.
I think I got this one. I
Oh
don't know if
God,
you're gonna be able to get
who
this one.
even
It's like
who even threw a no hitter for you guys?
This is a deep Cubs. I mean, this is a Cubs
Like,
question. So
why is it that the first guy that popped into my head was Ryan Tepera? He's a reliever.
Ryan Tepera.
you're probably
Why
thinking because
would
they
he
threw a
do
combined
that?
no hitter versus the Dodgers.
Yeah, they did.
That might be what it was. Oh my God, you guys
Ryan,
threw a no
you want me
hitter
to
for
wait
the
on my
starter?
answer?
Marcus
Whatever.
Stroman. No, I'm kidding. Um, he sucks for us, bro. Oh goodness, dude. Give me can you give me an exact year?
2020.
20. Oh, so it's COVID year. Crap. Oh, am I not allowed to say that word? It's so bad. I feel like such a casual because I should know this.
No,
No, this is
it's
a
really
really
tough.
hard
Who
I
was
one.
gotta
that
You
be
gotta
area?
honest.
It
be
was
like,
it was Rodon threw one in that area. Or was it
I'll give
Giolito?
you a hint. It was in Milwaukee. In Milwaukee, the Cubs threw this no hitter.
Yep. Yeah, you got it, Ryan. You
Oh,
got it.
oh, oh my God! It's the goggles guy.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, what's his name? Oh no.
I'll give you AM as his initials.
Alec Mills.
Yes,
There we
sir.
go.
Alec
Let's
Oh my
go.
Mills.
God, the goggles guy.
The goggles guy.
Yes, no,
Goggles.
Milwaukee gave it away. I do remember that.
Yeah. Thank,
Oh,
thank you, Jake, so much for joining the podcast today. I had a lot of fun. I'm sure
Yeah.
Ryan
It
did
was
too.
yeah, this was great, man.
it was a blast. Thank you so much, Jack, for joining. It was awesome.
Of course, anytime, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, we'll see you guys in the next episode, hopefully after a Cubs series dub.
Yeah, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's go Cubs. I wish your Yankees the best, Jack.
Let's
Well,
go
we'll be
Yankees!
watching
But
them on Sunday Night
give you
Baseball.
I give you the temporary "Let's go Cubs" for the rest of the series.
Yes,
But
sir. Thank you.
let's go with that.
Thank
All
you
right.
guys. And